Good morning, you little fuckers, and welcome to the Four Seasons podcast.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
Wait, who's
morning.
down there? Who is that?
Oh, we
Who
have a
is it?
special
Grand
guest
Rising.
today.
Who's that guest
Who
we have?
is it? Who is it? I don't know.
Can y'all recognize that voice out there? Can ya?
I don't know. Can you? I wonder if anybody can.
Who is this stranger? I don't know who she is.
Can
Can you please introduce yourself?
She sounds like she's casting a spell right now.
Give us an intro. Welcome.
Good morning,
welcome to Four
everybody.
Seasons.
Good morning. Thank you for having me as a guest on Four Seasons. I really, really appreciate it. This is your one and only original Mama Bear. Just because there's a
Welcome.
lot of out there, you know, Mama Bears. I'm the original. I'm just saying.
Welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome to
She's
Four
the one and
Seasons.
only.
The Juan and only.
The Juan and only.
Wait, hold on. Who's Juan?
Who's one?
I know. I was like, I'm not Juan.
I'm not Juan.
I don't think we have any other Juans in here.
Juan sounds like a red flag.
And I don't know a Juan, so
Good thing, because I heard Juans are red flags, just like Vato said. So.
If that's the case, then Mama Bear has a lot of red flags.
Hold on. Mama Bear, let me find out your middle name is Juana. Let me find out your middle name is Juana.
It might be. You'll never know.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Changing it from Mama Bear to Mama Juana.
Oh, ooh.
Fun fact though, if you go to the Dominican Republic, they have a drink called Mama Juana, and it's like really, really fucking strong.
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
trying.
shit.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it
Mama
is.
Juana has a complete different meaning in Mexico.
I have a bottle of it. I have a bottle of it too. So
Oh,
So what's today's topic, gentle lady?
I was gonna
Let's
say
ask the red flag.
games.
What's our topic
The
today?
red flag herself.
who's
Topic
the red
today is
who's the red flag?
I'm a red flag. Didn't you know? I thought you knew. I thought you
Mm.
knew.
I don't ever
I'm
ever
the
see you wearing any red, so I don't really.
I
She
see
has
her
one
wear red
hanging
all
over
the
there.
time. At least got red
I
in the
want-
background.
She's a 49ers fan, bro. She's always wearing red.
That's
And
the
she
only
has a
time-
red
that's-
wig.
well,
I
of
do
course
have a
know
red
that one.
wig.
Oh, you should have wore that red wig, Mama Bear.
But
I should
other
have.
than like
I should have.
other than like football attire, I don't think I've ever seen her wear like red.
You know what that means?
Because
He
I'm
really
not a
doesn't
red
pay
flag.
attention with you.
No, he doesn't.
I think Mama Bear, I
It's
see you
'cause
wear
you know
red a
why?
lot. He just
You know
don't pay
why?
attention.
Because he's a red flag because he pays attention to too many. So that's a red flag right there.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You know what? You're right, Mama Bear, because he is a Dodgers fan. They like blue.
Hey.
But he is a red flag.
Yo,
And
hey.
you got
You're
LA
about to
Rams
get
up
dropped
here.
from this
Wait,
damn
I know. I'm
podcast.
like, wait. We trying to
I
find a
got
bit
your
of.
back, Mama Bear. It's fine.
Thank you.
I don't even
She's
think
a
I'm.
Dodgers fan.
I don't even think I'm needed here
Are
at this
you?
point anymore.
You betrayed me like that. Wow.
There's
So you
3
are a red
Dodger
flag.
fans in here. Mike.
Fuck, I'm fucked. Hey, guess what? So, red flags. Red flags when
Red
it comes
flag.
to listen day, like comes to relationships. So I have a question, Mama Bear, since we have you on this podcast. What are some of the red flags that you see or you notice or you try to avoid when dating somebody?
When dating somebody. My
Yeah.
biggest red flag that will just pull me away completely is somebody trying to control what I do or my friend, you know, like without even knowing me yet. Like if we're barely starting to talk and he's getting to know me and it's like, oh, you're doing this or you're on social media or you don't have enough time for me after I tell my kid they're first, that's a red flag right there. Red flag. Sorry, but no. Like I'm over the controlling part. I don't need a dad to tell me what to do. I think as grown adults, we know what to do. We know what our boundaries are and how to respect somebody when you're starting to talk to them or date them. And when you need to pull yourself away. So for somebody to, I know sometimes we'll do something that we need to be like, can I tell you something? You did something that I didn't like, you know, and I'll respect that. And if I feel like I need to change it or address it, I will. But if it's something that you're trying to control me with, I'm over the controlling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be controlled.
I feel that.
Or when you see them that you if even like if you met them on social media, you see them, a lot of the girls that will come at them and you know with the cheesy emojis and everything. I just feel that that's a red flag. Like they're in their each other's DM, kind
You
of.
need to stop doing that.
We already know you do that all the time.
Yeah, well, you need to stop sending me those type of messages, bro.
Sorry,
That
Rafa.
doesn't. I don't
I
think
he
that
does it.
necessarily means that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do
I think
to a
it. I
certain
think. I
extent
think it
because
can go both. I think it can go both ways. Like some people are
well,
just. Some people are just. Some people are just flirtatious, like in
Yeah.
general, and you don't necessarily have to be in nobody's DMs. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah, but that to me, if you're flirtatious, that's a red flag for me.
it is.
Like
Wait, whoa.
There's
Well, some
there's
people are.
something about
Some
being
people are just.
friendly.
What if I'm
you're
charismatic?
you're different, Mosca. You're a friend. Okay, you're my bromance.
You get
That's as far
friend
as it
zoned all
goes.
the time, bro.
All right. What I'm talking about, talk about red flags when it comes to social media, is if we're committed to each other, and a lot of things I've heard in the past is, oh, it looks like I'm flirting, but I'm just overly excited. Or I'm just a happy person. I'm just a friendly person. But when it comes to all those kissy emojis and the winky emojis and stuff, that doesn't do it for me. Like that's a red flag. Like how can you tell me that's not flirty? Because the moment you put that type of material in somebody's comments or pictures, you're wanting their attention. You want them to react to it in a way that they're gonna contact you either their DMs or they respond to your comments. And my experience is a lot of people when they say, "Oh, I'm just a friendly person," when it comes to the opposite sex, there's no such thing as being overly friendly with somebody of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship. That's flirting. It's not you being happy. It's not you being friendly. It's you're flirting.
Right.
And I know a lot of women and men are gonna probably disagree with me, but that's just one of the assumptions I got. Why are you leaving, Mosca?
Who's all?
I think I'm more friendly than.
That like was like
But you're
directed to
single.
him. But you're single
No,
though.
no. He's single though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are
Now, if you're
single, bro.
yeah,
Single and
if
Like
you were
friendly.
in a,
I even think as I'm even not being committed, but you're interested in one person only, you hold
Mhm.
back on all that stuff. Like if you're interested in that one person, like my man, that's not my man, I don't go in there and I don't do like little emojis. So why are you laughing? Why are you
Okay.
laughing?
Hey, you didn't
'cause
say the whole thing, Mama Bear. How's it
it's
going? He's your
My
man.
man, that's not my man, that's my for a lifetime man. There.
There you go.
Oh,
she
but
put boundaries on a man that's not her man.
we were having a conversation of something similar to this yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna repeat it on here, but we were having a conversation yesterday about that. And I said that if you're talking to somebody and you and that person agree that you guys are only speaking to each other and not entertaining anybody else, right? With like the conversations that you have, like being friendly with somebody and just talking, like say for instance, I was to like, call you or whatever and talk to you. It would be just communication, right? Because obviously you're speaking to somebody, right? But my thing with that is if you're entertaining other people or if you're not entertaining other people, right? Then wouldn't that be somewhat of a relationship? date. Let's say dating.
Date.
What?
Because you're only speaking to one other person in a certain manner, right? Like
Right.
if it's anything other than just like mindless chatter, then that's borderline dating.
I guess you can say that. Yeah.
If you're
I-
and if you're having heavy conversations, and I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about with one person, like you're dating, you're not doing that. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it with multiple people.
So what you're saying, Nick, is she's practically married without being married.
Got it.
Wow.
No, she's dating without dating, and there's other people, which they're the ones that I'm kind of referring to, that came to an agreement where they're not speaking to any other people. So you're borderline dating. You're
Exclusive.
in the beginnings. Yeah. Obviously, one person hasn't said to the other, "Hey, should we just be together?" I don't like to say boyfriend.
Do they
girlfriend, 'cause
do they
that shit-
actually
'cause that
say that nowadays?
Because that shit, I don't know.
I still would.
Would you?
Yeah, I think I would too. Just because
So
it's
I'm just saying because
presently,
sometimes
look,
they just-
I'm with someone together
'cause
with
it's-
someone.
because it's natural. You know what I mean? It's like it just sounds. But when you think
old
about
school.
it, like thinking about somebody when you ask them to be like be my girlfriend, like, I feel like I'm still like
feel
in
like Mike would
elementary
do
school or
that.
junior high.
Like,
yes,
Did you
no,
wait,
or
yeah,
maybe.
did you? How did you? Yeah, let me
How did
ask
you
you
do it,
that real
Mike?
quick.
I know, how did you do it?
with Adriana?
What do you mean?
With
Did you
Adriana,
ask
like
her
how
to
did you
be
guys?
your
When you guys
girlfriend?
just
How did
You guys
I
were
start a
talking.
relationship
Yeah.
with
How
Adriana?
did you guys-
you guys were talking, and then it went more exclusive.
Yeah,
and
we
then you were
talked
exclusive.
about for a week, maybe a week and a half, and I told her, I was like, 'cause usually what I do is if I'm interested in a person, they become my priority. And look, I'm not gonna say that and lie and say I wasn't talking to other females, but I wasn't talking to other females to that extent. So once I was like, okay, now I made my mind, she's gonna be the one that I'm gonna pursue. Then I have that conversation. And I like you. I want to know you more. I also want to be exclusive because I don't like talking to multiple people or talking to multiple people. And that was like a mutual agreement, and I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of guys after. There's still a whole bunch of guys after. But during that talking stage and we made things exclusive, everybody else went away. And I don't think it was too long after that when we made things official. It
But
was like 2 weeks.
But how did you ask her? Did you just say, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend"?
I didn't exactly say those words. I just said, hey, I want to start a relationship with you. I want to be exclusive.
I don't know.
And I'll be
I get-
honest with you. It was until the end of November when we're like, okay, we're gonna come out with this, and then we kind of look back and say, hey, when did we actually start being like boyfriend and girlfriend? And we didn't
When
even know.
did you
We're
become
like,
my ruka?
yeah, we
Thanks.
didn't know. So I was like, fuck, let's do November 15th. Like I threw that number out. I was like, let's say we started November 15th, and that's the date we went with. This is the end of November, and we're already like in a relationship, but we didn't know.
I
This
guess
is
When it
what I would
started.
ask, so I can have that date.
That's kind of weird
Yeah.
though nowadays. Will you be my girlfriend?
I guess for me,
Could
it's
figure
it's been like a really long time, so I hadn't really
Thought about.
thought about, you know what I mean? I think the last time I did it, I think I asked her if you want to be my girlfriend. I was like, so are we like, are we like boyfriend girlfriend now, or?
I still ask.
Well, yeah. So it
Oh,
it sounds goofy thinking about it, but like
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's just, I don't know.
In the moment, it doesn't. Plus, you have that date.
why are my
Not like
kids
Mike
screaming
and
for
be like,
me?
fucking November 15th.
They're screaming.
I
Sounds
know.
about
It's
right.
all about
That sounds
right.
about right.
But yeah, I mean, but that is, I guess as you get older, it probably does change, right? So where it's like maybe you're thinking more along the lines, you're like, oh, Well, are we just like I guess you could say, are we just like exclusive? And I guess that would almost be like the same thing as being like boyfriend girlfriend type shit. I guess, you know what I mean? Rather than the traditional being like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
I consider that a red flag, not knowing how to ask somebody out.
You know what? That could be a red flag because I don't do it.
Because yeah, it could be a red flag because it'll make you seem like you're unsure of
Mm.
them. So that would be a red flag if you're not unsure of you're gonna ask them to be your girlfriend, or because it has to be. I think it has to be the guy that asks you to be
Let's
You know
girlfriend.
go.
what
Let's go
though?
around the table real quick.
What are we doing? Where
Let's
are we
go
going?
around the table real quick, and
Mike,
can you tell us each at least one red flag that you have?
one red
That
flag
We'll
that
start with
we
I
our
are.
have.
guest.
Oh shit!
So you
Like
want
she's
me
gonna
to
tell us
go?
a red
Yeah,
flag
you're
about.
the first, and then we'll go around with the guys.
One red flag I have is I seek, well, I'm getting better at it, but seeking validation from that person constantly, I think that pushes somebody away because I'm unsure of myself. So I'm portraying that energy to him, and he's just like, if you can't see it, if you don't know it, if you don't feel it, like, we got a problem there.
Okay. Who's next?
Can I respond to that real quick?
Go for it.
A red flag? I wouldn't see that as being a red flag. You know what I mean? Because if the person really knows you, maybe they know you, maybe they don't. They maybe in your past, maybe in your past you never received the validation that you looked for, or that normal people would expect in a relationship. So naturally, it's going to be something that potentially you would want to know. You know what I mean? Just as reassurance for yourself. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily see that as a red flag. You know what I mean? And if somebody saw that as a red flag, um, obviously you don't need to tell the person like every single day, multiple times a day, right? But just if you knew that person, if you knew that person's story, you really knew that person, you would understand, and you'd be like, you know what? Every occasionally you throw it out there, you know what? You like, I'm here for this, or you know what I mean? Just whatever validation.
Yeah.
But my bad. I'm just saying. I don't really think that's a red flag. So maybe something to ponder.
It's a huge ass red flag.
So what's your red flag,
Oh,
Nick?
My red flag? I don't know. It's probably all. It would probably be for most people, probably for myself too. That I know people see it as because I have some baby mamas, but it is what it is. Like at this point, at my age, I really don't even give a fuck anymore.
How many
Like
baby
it does.
mamas do you have?
oh shit!
I
Three.
mean, I don't know. Okay,
I have
I didn't
three.
know
I have
this. I
three.
don't.
I have three.
That's a safe number, by the way. Safe number. Good job, Nick.
Depending on, yeah. I mean,
You have 3 baby mamas too?
No, I know.
Oh, I thought you said you had 3. I was like, wait, what?
I know. Like I said,
Okay.
like it's a bad thing. Sorry, Nick. It's not. That's not. Sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
no.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
don't consider that a red flag.
You know.
No, you wouldn't. You don't. But I'm just saying some people do, and
Some
most of the
women
time,
do, yeah.
most of the time, with the women that do, are the women that don't have children,
Oh,
Or
yeah.
they have one. Or they have one baby daddy.
or they have one baby daddy.
Yeah.
But then again, like I think we've had this conversation before. Like the only way I would see like multiple baby daddies and multiple baby mamas is like a red flag is if you had like constant like issues and trouble with all of them. You know what I mean? Like all the fucking time. Like
Or you have like say I have a 1-year-old, and then I have a 2-year-old, and then you have a 4-year-old, and you have different baby daddies from those 3. It's like, oh yeah, she's a red flag right there. Like, how
No,
can you
that's
go?
somebody for the streets. That's not a red flag.
That's
You know what?
crazy.
I can't have children anymore, so you can have her send her my way. But I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. But but yeah, I think that would be mine. Sometimes that I don't communicate enough.
Mm.
So your red flag will be communication.
Yeah, I'm a big moments in communication. It's like I don't need anything from anybody. You know what I mean? Like I don't need anything from anyone. Like if I have somebody in my life, it's because I want them there. You know what I mean? I don't need them for someone. So and I think a lot of people, that messes with a lot of people's mind because they're like, well, you don't even really need me. Nah, I
Hey,
don't. Like whether you're here today or you're gone tomorrow, I mean, I'm still gonna be here. Maybe, you know?
hey, Nick.
Yeah.
It's not that. I think when people say I don't need anything from somebody, is I want something. I think that's everybody needs something from somebody, whether it's emotionally or physically when it comes to a relationship. So when someone
Right.
says I don't need anything from you, that's a lie. And I'm not saying that per use that. I'm just saying generalization. Like
Yeah.
Within
it's called,
ourselves. We're
yeah,
lying to ourselves,
exactly.
basically.
Well, you know what?
Because
Like I think I've said it though. I've said it before. Like the only thing I really look for from people is just like your friendship and your positive vibes. That's the only thing that I look for. Like
that means you.
what kind of positivity you can bring.
So that means you need something from a relationship. That's what you're looking for. Now that the typical shit like I don't need your money, I don't need
Yeah,
freaking
I need your
yeah.
peace.
No,
that
yeah,
I
no,
need
yeah.
peace.
You're right. You're
so
right.
I need
If
peace.
if you can provide peace and friendship, that's really it.
You need.
But I think when it comes to relationship standards, like if maybe they can't provide that, so maybe that's why they find it as a red flag.
it might be difficult for some people.
Maybe.
Mike?
What about you?
Oh
Red
shit,
flag.
me. I have two red flags. My first red flag is my temper. Like, if certain things don't go a certain way, I'm a black and like you guys know I'm a black and white type person. And if someone steps out of that, like if they don't know what right versus wrong, I'll be that person to correct them. Like, hey, we're adults. There's a right way of doing things, there's a wrong way of doing things. And if you expect me to turn a cheek when you do something wrong or be acceptable to that, that's not going to be a thing. So a red flag for me is I see everything and I don't let anything go by. So therefore it kind of correlates with my temper because sometimes I get a little aggressive. My second red flag is just like my boy down there with multiple baby mamas, right? Baby daddies.
Damn.
I have 2 divorces, and most women when they're very skeptical or they're standoffish when they start talking to somebody and find out they have 2 divorces because that's their main assumption before knowing anything. Their main assumption before knowing anything is like, fuck, do I really want to talk to this guy because he has 2 divorces under his belt?
Right.
And you know, and if they stick around, then they will find out why those divorces happen. But yeah, so those two main things: my temper, and then the fact that I got 2 divorces under my belt. That
But
could be a red
you
flag.
saying that though, that almost goes back to something we've spoken about before, is by judging the book by its cover.
Ooh, you're right about
That
that.
Last season, I mean and that could be the same with with me. Like you don't know why I have multiple baby mamas. We never dove into that. I mean, eventually we will, I'm assuming, but yeah, that's judging the book by its cover. Vato,
I'm a little
This is a
different.
hard
Hold on.
topic for Vato.
I'm a little different with this because I kind of don't label red flags. I feel it's more. I feel like whoever invented the term red flag is just somebody who didn't want to heal a trauma, so they put it back on somebody else, and that's. I mean, depending on your traumas, that's what you're gonna see.
yeah.
I know a lot of people probably aren't gonna like that, but as somebody that's worked with a lot of people who have high levels of trauma, that's just what I've always. Whenever I've heard somebody say the word red flag, it's just something that you see that you feel doesn't go with your values, but it might not be your values because it could be an unhealed trauma. So that's kind of how I see a red flag. Like if you were to ask me, what I feel is something that would be a red flag for me is that no matter how much progress I make in life, I still overthink the fact that sometimes I'm not where I should be.
Okay.
But
Is
that's
that unhealed trauma?
yeah, it is, because of the whole going in a different route with my life versus what everybody in the family is expected for you to do, which is go to school and do the polar opposite, and then have regrets of the fact that I've lost a lot of people that don't speak to me because I chose to go in a different route. And with the gifts that I have, I see things and I call people out on what I see, kind of like Mike says. But a lot of people don't like that because they they look at me and they see somebody who isn't a high level person with education, So I don't know. The way I see it is, it's not really a red flag. There's something that either hit me down the road in the past that,
Yeah.
but I get it. I feel like when people like now, I get it more now that I'm more, that got to know a bunch of people in a different perspective. I feel like a lot of people, when they use the term red flag, some of them are avoiding trauma, but I feel like some are also trying to set that boundary. Well, that's not the type of thing I want. That's not the type of thing I want. Which I never really looked at it like that up until most recent. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think my overthinking of have I tapped into a potential that now it's time to go for a different one, or do I have to be here longer? Like, is there a lesson here that I have to receive still, or am I ready to go to the next chapter of my book?
I think you're right about that, about unhealed trauma. I think my validation from needing constant validation goes back to my childhood and the role I played in with like being the older sister and taking care of the family, and a lot of things that I had to swallow, pain, hurt, and everything to make others happy. You know what I mean? And I I can actually say I'm actually healing now because I don't seek validation from anybody anymore. Like it's getting easier to just be like, I know who I am. I know I have a good heart. I know I want the good right. I'm doing the right thing. I know, and I don't need nobody to tell me. So, and there's a certain individual that has really helped me out to even heal myself even more.
So,
Does he make you?
Because
I have a question for you,
what?
Mama Bear, on that. Since you feel you're in a place where you don't seek validation, when somebody gives you validation, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like they're watching and they're really noticing, like they're really focused on me. You know what I mean? Like I did something that might have made them feel a certain way, or they needed something from me at that moment that they needed to give me that validation. Like it's just people will get to know me because I won't be very transparent with what I've been through, or I don't put out I stopped putting out what I've been through, my trauma that I've been through. Even like when I started talking to my man that's not my man, I didn't really tell him what I went through or what I was looking for in a guy or anything. I just let it get to know him, laugh, joke around, and we kept talking and talking and talking. And then with time, I let him know certain things about my life. So I've learned not to tell anybody what I've been through in my relationships and why they fell through, because then they try to come in and be this person, and then like 3 months later you see the real them, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you were just trying to do something to get to me so I could fall for you, and once I fell for you, you're like, that's it.
Yep.
So I don't do that no more.
Narcissism at its
Um,
finest.
Red flag.
Red flag.
And you know, like a lot of people will create a reality like that to put themselves in a position where she's a good woman, that's the type of woman that I need, so that I can work through some of my issues. But if you don't work through your issues before you find that woman,
That
it could ruin everything.
you push them away if you don't work on your issues. If you don't acknowledge that you have to work on something, then that's going to be it's going to push somebody away eventually. Not right away, but eventually.
Most definitely.
Eventually it'll
Most
push them away.
definitely.
Like, you need to take accountability for, and that's why there's a lot of stuff that I agree with what you guys say, because us as women, we want to put the blame on the man all the time. We want to be like, oh, it was because of him, because he didn't pay attention. No, did you pay attention to what he was trying to tell you? Did you pay attention and actually listen to what he's trying to explain to you?
I'm a
And we
bear.
want to be like, no, 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 no. It's like,
Say it
shut
louder
up
for
and
the
listen.
unhealed women in the back. Say it louder for the
It's
unhealed women in the back.
we women have to take accountability, because we try to put the blame on the man when we can have a good man in front of us, but because we have unhealed things, or we don't want to be called out and said you were wrong, and we don't want to take accountability for being wrong and apologize, we push a good man away. You lose out on a good man, and then you see that person be with somebody else, and you're like, damn, that could have been me if I would have learned to shut up, listen, and shut up. Or listen, process it,
Was.
and then compromise. You talk, you speak it out, and then drop it. Don't bring it up anymore. Don't keep throwing stuff. You know what I mean? You've already discussed it. You've already dealt with that issue, that situation. Let it go. Stop talking about it.
I think that's the thing, though. A lot of people just kind of talk about it a little bit and don't actually dig into it to allow it to be a thing of the past eventually. They'll just kind of touch on it, won't allow each other to express, and then it comes back because we didn't give each other the opportunity to actually
But
speak about it.
That's
if you
because
think about
women
it,
love
we love to talk, we love to nag, we love to just keep on pressing instead of just we make the men not want to talk about it and go deep into it, because we don't let them talk. We just keep going. We just keep barking, in other words, just feeling everything we have to say, and the guy at the end is like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk about it. And
Yep.
they shut down. Versus you say something and then they start explaining something to you and trying to get you to understand, and we should just shut up instead of trying to put our 2 cents in. But no, but this, but no, but then, but no, shut up, listen.
I just wanted to say one last thing. With everything that you just said, I just think that a lot of women don't understand that men are protectors, that it is our nature to be a protector. There's a study that shows that we want to be problem solvers. From the day that we're able to communicate, we're trying to solve problems. There was a study where they had 3 boys and 3 girls, I think is what it was. And they put a barrier between mom and baby, and the girls just cried to try to get mom to come and help them. Meanwhile, the boy babies were trying to get through the barrier. They were wiggling around, trying to move it out of the way to get to mom. So from the day that we are born, we are biologically created to try to solve problems. So when a woman comes and talks to us, most of the time we offend them because We look at it, there's a problem. How can I bring a solution to this problem? And then we're not heard because women just want to be heard and men want to solve problems.
Because of
That's
that
it.
one saying that I said last time. Women act with feelings. Men act with what is it? Well, how did that shit go? Women always respond with feelings. Men always respond with action.
Is that why I became a mechanic then? So at least I know I can fix something.
No, no,
What are
you were
you
struggling
thinking, Mike?
with you were struggling with the radiator the other day. I was kidding,
Hey,
Dave. I'm kidding.
hey, they
No,
ordered the wrong one.
I'm just messing around. No, this is the number one thing. I told Adriana
Yeah.
this because we do have our disagreements in there, and I told her the moment
I'll be right
I
back.
don't say the moment I don't say anything is the moment you should worry about it, the relationship. If I'm playing stuff out that bothers me, it's because I care about the relationship. But if it gets to a point where I don't say anything anymore, you're just doing whatever you need to do, then you should be worried about that the relationship's about to end. I've stuck to that in every relationship I've been in. You know, I'm the type of guy that I like just if I see a problem, I want to fix it. It's not a secret. Most men do that. Problem is, a lot of women don't want to hear it, especially when it deals with them. And that's what I notice is every time I bring up a problem, they close it off. They don't answer the questions, and they start ignoring you. It doesn't matter if you're right in front of them; they'll start ignoring. They'll close you off. They're like, "Oh, I'm already done with this conversation. I don't want to talk about it." But then every single time when there's a problem with me, I got to sit there, listen, compromise. Takes what I'm doing. If I'm doing something wrong, I gotta jump through hoops to fix whatever's bothering her. And I think that's a lot of people, a lot of guys hit the barrier want them to deal with certain women. Is that they feel like it's one sided. Like, remember we talked about watering the grass? It feels like I'm the only one watering the grass and the other person's not providing or helping me. They're just
Yeah.
enjoying it. Well, eventually someone's gonna get tired. Someone's gonna get tired of doing all the work. Someone's gonna get tired of holding those that relationship together. And eventually, like Ron Bear said, it's gonna push people away. So everything you said, Mom Bear, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. You know, because of that aspect of, it takes two to make a relationship work.
And then it's also the fact of how, men can say certain things and us, how we interpret it, we take it to a different level. And we got to understand to control our emotions at that moment and really, like, you know what I mean? Because we as women, we're just like, go off right away. Like, oh, you said this, really? That's what you're thinking? You're like, if that's what you're putting in your mind, that's on you. And I've learned that from my man, it's on my man, because I do that shit.
I have
And I've
I
learned
have
to
a
just
perfect example of that. All right, just recently, like me and Adrian had disagreement about something, right? And I talked about a good 4 or 5 minutes about that particular subject, and all I said in the middle of it was, "That's some stupid shit. Like, what you're doing is stupid." You know what she took out of that? Out of everything I said, she goes, "So you call me stupid?" I was like,
that's what we do. That's what we
I was
do.
like,
Men are
I
too
told her,
logical. We're so logical that we're listening to everything, but we're not just listening. We're watching your demeanor, your posture, your facial expressions. We're gathering data to see, are you going to be a threat, bro? Am I going to have to throw hands with you today? Or are you just expressing? So that's the difference between us and women.
Not us taking that one little word and turning it into something else instead of listening to
Look,
what was actually said.
that shit
but
happened
that's
on
what
one
I'm
of our
talking about.
episodes. Everybody
Yep.
thought I was coming at single women.
Yeah, that's all they heard. He
Yeah,
literally
well,
said, it's been my experience when I'm in a relationship, who has been, was it toxic? A little bit more toxic towards my relationship
Experience.
with
Yeah.
my ex-wife or my kids, and all they took was all single
Single.
mothers are like this.
Yep. Yep.
Do you
Almost
have
there.
any
How
idea
dare
how
you?
many DMs I got when that episode came out?
Because we're not really paying attention. That's the thing. We're not paying attention to everything in that, and we're right away we're emotions, our feelings are taking the best of it, and just boom,
Sure.
instead of just listening to what is actually said, we concentrate on that one negative word.
Fuck
I
bitches.
said I learned that you can't call women hypocritical. You can't say that's such a hypocritical thing you're doing. Oh, you
And call me a
out.
hypocrite.
You call me a hypocrite? Oh no! So look at baby girl. I love you if you're listening. But this is every woman I've been with is they'll a man will open up to them, say, hey, this is a problem. I think we need to fix it, and they'll go on a whole fucking essay, and then women will be like, the title of that essay, are you attacking me? That feels like a personal attack. So ladies, if you're listening, and if a man's opening up to you, if he's saying, "Hey, look at this, I see a red flag, and I'm pointing out this is the reason why it bothers me, based off my experience," and trying to work, like, was it said we're problem solvers, or was it Vato that said that?
Vato.
Vato says that, and then Nick caveat then said, "Well, I guess that's why I'm mechanics. I like to fix things, right?" We men, we see a problem, we want to fix it on the spot. And so if you have a man that's very communicative and he wants to fix things, don't be so quick to shut him off. There's this term, like, if you point fingers, there's always 3 pointing back at you. Like, I'll take accountability for what I'm doing wrong, but
It's two people to fix it.
yeah, or you can take accountability too.
That's why I point like that.
And
Wow.
You.
What's Nick
this,
gonna
this,
say?
this, this is
Nick,
why I friend zoned you a long time ago.
The other three are pointing always up. No, never at me.
Oh,
You right there.
Your toxic videos.
I seen something before. Like you said that how there's when you point a finger, there's fingers pointing back at you. It was
Yeah.
I can't remember what it said. I'll have to find it and I'll have to share it. But it showed like hand like this and it showed a hand like this, but they were like standing in front of the person like that. You know what I mean? And it was like something about quote like
They'll come to you.
yeah, it will.
It's okay.
But it was something along the lines of like, you know what I mean? Like before you try to blame someone else, did you eliminate the blame from yourself or some shit like that or
Yep.
whatever? But I was like, fuck.
It's
What?
true though. It's
No,
like
it is.
we want to call as women. We want to call out men, and
That's
I've
a red
learned
flag.
to. It is a red flag because you want to accuse a man right away as women, and I've noticed and I've learned that there's a lot of my faults. I don't know how to shut up. I'm a Latina. I'm a Mexican woman. I want to fucking argue. I want to fucking come at you. I want to and I need to learn how to shut up. I need to learn how to shut up and just pick my battles. And I have to understand that it's not anybody's responsibility to make me feel a certain way. I need to be responsible for my own feelings, my own emotions. And understand that when one word is said, it's not coming to attack you. It's listen to how it was said.
Yeah.
Listen to how it was said.
I mean, it's not like, a lot of women will have like 30 to 40% of the conversation in their head before they tell us what they're wanting to say. So it's not like with us, it's a little bit different. We're not like that. When we're gonna speak, we're gonna speak. But with the women, they have 30 to 40% of the conversation in their head. Not all women, but most. And that even happens with Annie. She'll have like some of the conversation in her head, and then when she tells me, it's like she expects for me to understand the whole thing, and I'm just like, so that could be it. That's why they think that they probably think that we already set most of it in our head, and then we started at a point but that's not how we work. We go from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
That's just the logical way of thinking.
And the more you're calm about talking about stuff and not just letting your emotions, just your feelings, just get the best of you, the better it will go, you know. But we don't. We get into a lot of independent women nowadays. There's a lot of single women out there. We get into the, you know what? I don't need this shit. I don't need a man. I don't. Yeah, we don't need them. You know, we're okay by ourselves. But you also got to change your ways. You got to change your ways. You gotta better yourself as a woman and be who I want to be. You know what I mean? To be able to have a good relationship with somebody. Like there's so many women out there that I see, and I see their content, especially on TikTok, and the way they're saying, like, trying to attack exes or their prior relationships, and I'm like, have you really sat there and seen yourself and see what you need to work on? We don't do that. We don't do that. We think we're right. We think we're no, no. It's awful. It's sad. It's sad to see a lot of women not take accountability for their shit.
I think a lot of people. I think that can be said for everybody, though, men and women. Men and
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to be held accountable for their shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes people, not every, like I said, not everybody, but you know, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like to, and then, you know, sometime at one point in their lives, it'll come down to where they'll fucking see it, and they'll be like, "Fuck."
By that time, it would be too late.
Yeah, well, yeah. Generally
That's me.
it is. But
That's me. I'm saying that's me because the first time I was able to accept shit was when my husband passed away, and I was laying in bed, you know, a couple of days after he passed away, and I'm laying in bed and I'm going through rerunning our whole life, right? And the arguments and the ugly fights we had. And I'm like, if I would have just kept my mouth shut and stopped arguing with him, it wouldn't have gotten that far. And then weeks later, I had a conversation with my daughter, and she tells me, you could have, like, it wasn't dad all the time. It was you. You didn't know when to shut up. And I was all like, your own kid calling you out. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And as I've gone through these past 4 years, and now that when there's somebody that comes and brings you peace and calmness to your soul, you pay attention a lot more to what they're saying and what they're getting at. And I become more accountable for the things that I say and do. And I think that's a big step for me, because I didn't want to take accountability. I was like, I'm not right. I'm not wrong. I'm right. I'm doing this right. I'm giving you everything. Doesn't matter how much you give a person, how much you spoil a person, how much you tell them you love them. It's the actions. It's the way you react. It's the way you communicate. And, you know, like, it's like something Tony tells me is that, like, don't expect somebody to give you this, and that. Or because you're mad at me, don't expect me to just come at you and tell you all these sweet words. Because I'm not going to tell you those sweet words just to get you in a better mood.
yeah,
I'm going to tell you when I'm feeling it. And what better feeling is that going to be is when you don't expect that from me and I give it to you, you're going to hold on to that a lot more than me throwing, like, oh, you know what? Stop. Okay, babe, bye. Babe, you're beautiful. You're this and that. Just stop arguing with me.
Wow.
That becomes
You know-
trauma bonding.
Yeah, that's what exactly
Yeah.
Boston does to me. He pisses me off, and he'll sit there and whisper sweet nothings in my ear.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
do that. Don't do
Is
that.
that the helicopter videos?
Yeah, he'll send me helicopter videos, and then he'll be turned all sweet and lovey-dovey. I'm like, I see right through that bullshit, Bosca.
And on
Most
that
of
fucking
them
note,
when you did that.
you know what? I
on
got
that fucking note, what is his red flag?
Yeah, what is your red flag?
What is your red flag?
Let's
Yeah,
close it
what
out.
is your red flag?
What's your red flag?
yeah,
shit.
Yes, we
It's
do.
the
we go.
host.
Red flag.
Red flag. Him not saying I don't have any red flags.
We all here
That's his
answering.
red
We
flag.
all here
I
answering the same questions.
I have two, and I'm actually working on them, and I actually got way better on them. But my two
Okay.
main red flags are I'm too clingy and I'm too jealous.
Oh shit, that is a good one.
And those of you that know,
I used
but
to
those
be
are my
very,
two
very
main.
jealous. Very.
I
Is
used
that why you
I
don't share?
I
Is
used
that why
to
you
be
don't share on
too.
romance?
Stupid.
Because you're
is it
clingy.
do you think jealous is jealous comes to being you insecure of yourself, so
Yeah.
not being confident. I feel like
I don't see it in
no.
that way. I see
Mm,
it because I know
that's
what
the
other
typical woman
men do.
answer. That's the typical woman answer. Oh,
You
you're
think
jealous
so?
because you're insecure. That's not it. Like that's the cop out. When a woman says, "Oh, you're jealous because you're insecure," no, that's just a cop out. It's because it's what you're doing provoke those type of feelings out of a person. It goes both ways. So when a person says, "Oh, you're just jealous because you're insecure," okay, what are you doing to provide security in a relationship? What are you doing to provide that type of peace in a relationship where I don't have to think other than us being secure? So a lot of people use that as a cop out to not take accountability of what they might be doing wrong to provide that person the feelings.
But does it stem
But I
from
think
something though?
yes, it stems from something because I'm saying because of my
Experience.
first yeah, for my first husband, when I caught on to he was cheating on me, it made me very insecure of me as who I was in his life. You know what I mean? Because when I wanted to address the situation, he'd be like, stop being like stop crying about it, like this is I'm like, I gave you children. I cleaned, I worked 2 jobs, I went to school, I pulled the same weight that you did in this relationship and possibly even more. And the women that you cheated on me with, and you're not letting me take my stand as being your wife and wanting to talk to them and get answers from them as how long has it been going on? You came at me and told me, if you do this, you're going to figure everything out on your own. I'm not going to help you with the kids. I'm not going to help you with the household things. Like, I was attacked, you know what I mean? And that made me as a very not confident about who I was as a woman, made me insecure at at that moment. You know what I mean? And it took me a long time to overcome that. Now I've let that go. I'm like, if somebody doesn't want to be with me, if that guy wants to go with somebody else, by all means, go.
But you know
I'm
what?
not gonna.
That quote unquote insecurity of a man, that quote unquote goes again to what I said earlier. A man, a man's biological strength is to be a protector.
Mm.
And we might trust you, but we know
What-
other men. So it's not always like, oh, I'm insecure. It's not an insecurity. It's actually a strength. If a man is not like that,
Hold on.
he'll let you go in a heartbeat.
Or they struggle.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, mine is different. I just know how guys are. That's why I'm always jealous.
Yeah.
But
I
but
used
the
to be
thing is
really
that
jealous a long time ago.
you shouldn't be jealous though. If you know how other men, if you trust your person and you're talking to, then you shouldn't feel jealous. Because if you feel what
That
you're feeling and you're going through that, you shouldn't be jealous.
that's not gonna work, Mama Bear. Because that's how
Why
women
not?
think. 'Cause that's how women think. You're talking from a woman's perspective. Men think totally different. We don't think the same.
It's
Men
it's like
are
I said on
men are
it's
in
like I said
fight
on
and
other
flight.
episodes. Hold on. It's like I said on other episodes. Like Mike has a girl right now, right? It's easier for me to go at Mike's girl right now because I'm competing with one guy than multiple guys.
Yeah. A man looks at it and they're like, do I want to compete with 20 different guys Or do I just want to compete with one guy
Yeah.
to
And
try to
try
get
to
this
ruin
woman?
that.
That's where my jealousy comes in.
Then
And women
again,
don't
Every
see
man
that.
is trying to compete with me now.
but then again, nobody can ruin anything unless the other person lets it happen. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're supposed to trust that other person that they're
Mhm.
gonna block that shit off. It's like Mike's in a relationship right now, and I'm sure she's a beautiful lady. She's
She gets
got a
DMs
great
from
body.
she gets
Right.
DMs. She
Exactly.
gets people
But
coming
you
after her.
trust her, right? Is that making you
No,
jealous all the time?
I do trust her, but I don't trust guys around her. That again, that doesn't secure my jealousy. Doesn't say, oh, I'm not jealous. Well, I'm still a fucking jealous person. Just like it's natural for a woman to be jealous of a man wants to do certain things. You don't think Adrienne is jealous to some of the fucking people I used to
Oh
follow?
yeah, we always gonna be
You know what I'm
jealous to a
saying?
certain
So,
extent. Yeah.
so you just contradicted yourself. Because if she trusted me, if she trusted me 100%, she wouldn't be
She wouldn't be
jealous.
jealous. Right, right. But it's like the same thing. I know I do
Red
that.
flag.
I do
Red
that. I
flag.
do that. I do that. Because I understand that, and I'm trying to be more of a like not so jealous and not to show that jealousy so much, because I should trust if he hasn't done anything and we're not even dating and he hasn't done anything
Okay.
to for me to not trust him or not, think or to think stupid of him. Um then why am I being jealous? Why am I being jealous of other women that are coming at him if we're grown and we know what we want? And like I told him before, if you start entertaining somebody else or, liking somebody else and you don't like me, tell me right away, because I don't got time for games.
So I have a question. You tell me in a year or so you guys been not together, but together, but not together. You tell me y'all one time you've never been jealous throughout the
I
whole
have,
year.
I have,
Exactly. Thank you. That's all I wanted to throw out there.
I have,
Mosca, I love you, man, by the way. Just throw it out there.
I have, and that's what I'm working on, because I don't know. I just think that if somebody doesn't give you a reason to be jealous, and you know why are you going to be jealous of all these other girls or whatever, like I just think, like, if a man or a woman is going to cheat, no matter how good you are, no matter whatever, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
See, here's one of the biggest things. Women have an amazing intuition, a better intuition than most men.
That is so
But
true.
when a woman is not in her feminine energy,
You won't feel it.
her intuition doesn't work as best as it can. So sometimes when a woman is speaking with another guy, and I don't mean like in a amorous way, I mean in any way, if her intuition won't be where it needs to be, if she's got that mixed emotions of masculine and feminine energy. So and
That, you
that's
know
where
what?
and
That is so true.
that's where sometimes women fuck up in a relationship, because they'll talk to a guy, but their feminine energy isn't where it needs to be, so their intuition can say, this guy's trying to harm something that you guys have. But you're too blind to see it because you're in your masculine energy, and masculinity fights masculinity, or masculinity invites masculinity.
Yeah.
So that's one of the I just had to throw that out there, because we could trust the girl that we're in a that we're speaking to. And it's hard for me because I've been where I am for a while, but I've noticed that a lot of women that we associate with, some of them are in their masculine energy, and they're always trying to fight other guys over social media for BS. And that just proves that your trauma is still unhealed from whoever hurt you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you couldn't square up to that person man to man, but your energy tried, and now it's no longer a thing because it didn't work out. So it's there. Yeah. I mean, again, red flags to me are just kind of somebody saying there's an issue with me, and I haven't really fixed it.
Healed from it.
And I don't mean like that you also aren't being aware. So like seeing what people are doing with your own eyes, I don't think that's you pulling out red flags. I think that's just you saying I can't fuck with that person because that person's gonna bring damage to something about me later on in life.
Yep. And to me, like, you know, they say like somebody's done you wrong, how can you talk to them again? You got to make sure with your energy, like if they're gonna, I don't care how much they've squashed it and they apologize and everything, but if you still keep seeing that ugly negative energy where they still haven't taken accountability for what they've done, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be even around you. Like I'm gonna pull myself away. They can call me this or think that, but if your energy is messing with mine, and I can still see that your sorries, your let's squash this and blah blah. I'm sorry.
Look, no matter how much you heal, no matter how much you grow, no matter how many people you treat right, you're still gonna be the villain in somebody's story. So we just gotta be
Yep.
okay with that.
And on
I
that
I'm
note,
always
okay
say
being
it.
the
People
villain.
always tell me you're a healer, and I'll say yeah, but sometimes I have to be somebody's destroyer as well.
Yep.
Ye-
Yep.
You know what? I was sitting here thinking how you said that you know, the jealousy is one of your red
Mhm.
flags. You know what? It could be one of mine too. But once I reach the point where there's no jealousy anymore, I think I've already just let go.
Let go.
It's felt to be jealous.
No,
Just
It is to
it
a certain
is.
extent.
It is.
Certain extent.
It is. It is. But I think once I don't like care anymore at all, like just like
It
whatever,
doesn't make you jealous.
and I'm not if
It
I'm
just,
not jealous, then there's a problem.
either
I
you
mean,
gave up
you
or
have
you're
to hold on.
No,
somewhere else.
it's because I gave up.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like usually from that, it's either a person gave up or they're getting attention for somebody else. They're like, oh shit, I'm not jealous anymore because I'm getting attention for somebody else,
Yeah.
or I'm giving attention to that.
Yeah.
Which is hope is the first one, which is I gave up.
Yeah. And
all right.
generally it is.
And on that note, I think we're gonna come for a round 2 on this one.
Right now?
Yo, you guys need about 5-10 minutes. What are you talking about?
Y'all go
Gotta
stretch.
reset.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Go
we're
ahead
Hey,
and
get out
close
of
it
my
out.
garden!
yeah we're
Hey,
definitely
boss, can I go ahead and close it out?
we're definitely gonna have a continuation of this one. I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done with this topic. I think we all have a lot more to say on it. So, Mama Bear, we'd like to see if you could join us for the next one, so we can close this thing out and maybe start up another one.
Yep. I'll be glad, more than happy to join you guys because there's a lot of stuff that goes into, and I just gotta say that as a woman, I think we have to take more accountability for what we might do and what we can trigger in other men, and for us to heal ourselves, like really dig deep into ourselves and heal those traumas that we've been through. Because we want to find somebody, but when we find somebody, we can push somebody that's good away because we haven't healed, because we don't take accountability. Mosca,
Yes, ma'am.
you just pushed your bromance away. I'm sorry. So you gotta heal. You gotta heal a little better.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We out. Peace.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.